비송아. 비송. 뭐야, 다 끊는 걸로 다 가져오면 맞으면 이렇게 좀 오시 사와래 나서 봐. 다 끊는 데로 다. 다 그래서 가다는 무지개만 시바 얘는 끊는 데는 생제 요조. 아까서라와 생제 요 매봐. 요소 조바했더니 고와는 녀석이 되만에 줘. 하나더니 아까서라와 제 생제 요조가 된다. 소리지 공부 더 봐야 그. 뒤에 됐더니가 다 진열에 저기 실로지 저기 손바닥 다 끊는 또 체수 니바 체수대 됐어요.
So then last time we spoke quite a bit about the motivation. So just to turn to a specifically Buddhist motivation, just to discuss that a little bit, we can bring forth a motivation that thinks that all sentient beings without exception, without bias, must be separated from the sufferings of samsara and the lower realms, in order to be able to lead them away from suffering and to lasting happiness. I myself must achieve the state of enlightenment for all sentient beings.
어다 드리나이 되면서 당안조 버게 대시 대와 템버드야 대시 템버드야 지체다 하고서라 딱걸로 대여쇼 좀 받지 다 때문에 좀 멀리면 관계 체다 하고서라서 어다 뭐 요즘 체다 내가 지금 뭐 요즘을 때는 변바적이 뒤체다 내가 지금 손으로나 머리를 때는 소소를 버게 니바를 도중이요 한 레벨 계속 좀 받지 알았어.
So then today we talked a little bit about that motivation, but if you wanted to develop that motivation, not so much from a Buddhist perspective, you could think about may all sentient beings be happy. May I be able to bring all sentient beings benefit. And by thinking, may I be able to bring them happiness and benefit, then you are able to accumulate a positive potential based upon each sentient being. So a limitless positive potential.
어떤 님마지 마도 하고서라 치세지 까마지 마도 되니서 또 마도가 이나요. 나로서 디필레 뭐서 써요. 왔어. 이나요 디필레서 비카레 생제 요조 매 요조라 되니 디필레 바지서요. 말이 무슨 되니요. 되니서 또나 셀프게 소와요. 버치도 된데 렐레데야지.
So then, even if we think about this in this way for all beings for 1 day, for 1 hour, or even for 10 minutes, then the positive karma that you are accumulating, it is limitless because sentient beings are limitless. And when you engage in a negative action, it's really not based upon all sentient beings. It's usually based upon a very limited number or one. So if you think in that way, there is reason to feel encouraged, to feel hopeful that the virtuous things that you do based upon all sentient beings are far more powerful than the negative.
그래서 다 드니지레스. 다 나로서 내가 니네 집에 가라. 이니 민지 보게 생지 예대. 생지 시행 것이니 대보게 하고서 여보 많이 봐. 생지 예대 것이니 대 여보 봐. 신이 다 여와신을 뒤서 거서 세난도 그래서 여와신 보게 나도 내가 지가 이제 쪼지데 가르레스.
And it is in order to be able to benefit all sentient beings. It's for that purpose that we need to pay attention to being able to differentiate between mental qualities and unwholesome minds or faults, that we need to be able to understand how to cultivate the mental qualities and to be able to diminish those faults. It is really for that purpose.
저는 내가 지게야 저 가르레 sen시 가르레 대밤에 와서 그야 sen시 들어가야 가르레 하고서 와서 뒤서 거서더니.
And so it is in order to be able to build those wholesome qualities and diminish the unwholesome qualities that we need to train in the practices of hearing, contemplation, and meditation.
하고서 와서 어떤 나로서 다 강해지 버린 왔어. 나로서 여보 다 제체나. 나로서 나스 대한테 세우지스는 거 알았어.
쌤.
다나 하고서 왔어. 쌤때 하고서 왔어. 다디 잘은 안 돌려도 뭐 그래도 세이나요. 여목지스는 거 알았어.
So we can see that everyone is faced with the same predicament, which is that we call the mind. It follows that concept that we call the self, and that mind is following the afflictions. So we see that all beings are facing that same fundamental difficulty.
하고서 왔어. 다생 거로 할 레벨 비도하고 하고서 왔어. 어다 롱적에 싸워. 근데 그 내가 차솔 때 도게 든지그 비다 버치 세코로고 뭐코로
However, we need to understand that the fundamental nature of the mind is a pure and knowing. The fundamental nature of the mind is pure luminosity, something very positive.
하고 살아왔어. 이나요 다디 잘라 나로서 세기지스로 세대 세니 예대기 지스로 마도하지 som바도 이지기 지스로 마도하지 아니 녀목이 코 지스로 한다고 자기와 이자 아니 나로서 마세지리 이나요 까냐모하지도 하고 살아와 기보 때문에 봐지 디그선도
However, the root of our problems, the reason that we are not able to achieve a lasting happiness is because the mind is oriented in the wrong direction. So the self, that's we ourselves, we follow the mind. And at the moment, the mind is under the control of the afflictions. So because the mind is under the control of the afflictions, then we ourselves experience many difficulties.
하고 살아와서 어다가 제조대 되지 하고 하지 다 던지지 이자 다 나로서 그 셈 가져도 될지 요와도네라 생지 예대 쇼바도 니지 자와도 던지기 돌 하고 살아와 제와도 던지기 지선도 도와줘야 돼 나로서 내가 쪼어도 되레스.
So therefore, understanding that problem, what do we need to do? We need to reorient the direction of the mind. We need to change the direction of the mind so that it's not following the afflictions, but so that the mind is following the positive mental qualities. So we need to bring forth the positive mental qualities such as love, such as compassion, such as patience, and so forth.
하고 살아와서 어다 뒤에서 거서 지기 샤와 간디지 제바 이나래 하고 살아와서 어다 뒤에서 거서 건자 기지 이나요 뒤체든 로근도 세녀와도 로근도 세녀무 지선도 왔지 로도 토비도 토근도 쇼마도 니지기 지선 로근도
So it's very important for the practitioner to engage in these practices of hearing, contemplation, and meditation with this awareness that we are engaging in these practices for the purpose of developing our positive mental qualities. We are engaging in these practices in order to be able to enact a transformation within our mind. So we need to see that based upon this hearing, contemplation, and meditation, are we able to diminish the unwholesome states or not? Are we able to direct our mind towards the positive things of love, compassion, and so forth or not?
하고 살아왔어. 다지야마도 다 총을 가져 디세르고 내가 이늘에 다 디세르고 내가 야보들 왔어. 간데 이늘에 공자에 이늘 로조치에 이늘에 하고 살아왔어. 가져 제바 이나요. 하고 살아왔어. 된 저와치나 말로 노도 모르 저와 누저 모르 아니 루차고 슈치르치르 노요나 오데스 누요 말해서 말했어.
So it's really important to keep in mind the purpose of all of it. And of course, engaging in retreat, reciting prayers, engaging in various types of practices and so forth. These are something that is very positive. However, if our mind is not changing because of these practices, if we are more afflicted rather than less, if we are getting angrier and more impatient, then that retreat, that practice, and so forth is not something that is so significant, is it?
하고 살아왔다는 녀물을 세야만데 어다들이지 아마서 다 간절을 나자랬어.
So Geshe remembered a story which is it actually could be a form of advice for us. It's a story of one Lama who said that I stayed in retreat for a long time and I accumulated all of these mantras. I counted all of these mantras, but I merely managed to wear down my fingernail. I did not manage to wear down the afflictions. So this is something to be aware of.
오다 검자께서도 쓰이나 있지 바리 아고사라 누가 이메라 마디바 누가 이난다 메난다 치킬라난다 말라난다 아고사라 고잔네 소소가 센조와 돈을 대에서 숑바도 되바 이제도 되마 차고도 차고도 너도 뮤르 너도 냠바 뮤르 로건도
So whether whatever type of meditator we are, whether we are Buddhist or not, whether we are a believer in a faith or not, we have to see if our practice of meditation is effective in bringing forth a transformation in the mind. Are we able to endow our mind with more love and compassion through the practice? Is the mind less negative? Is the mind less scattered, projected, and so forth?
하고서라와스 저도 곰 가르자바 이나이다 곰 강갑만 가첨보치라와스 하고서라와스 다니 저도 곰 담다 자야와 세레레 차야도 리도 세레레 차네라 셈바 템보 대하게 쳐다 미 가르즈바 이나이 고잖아 진도도 그야.
So generally, all meditation is important. It brings forth benefits, and there are all different styles of meditation that we could engage in. Meditation is something which allows us to be able to bring forth a relaxed and mindful state. And really, in order to achieve that relaxed, mindful state and focus, we can use any different types of objects.
하고서라와스 난도 디세 투투투데 시작이야 있어 다 금세노를 가체수지 되라 고조가 님이 제비페 고조가 님이 좀비페 어다 대 알레 찐다고 세진다고 지수이나 다된 검자 야야지 가첨보치레스.
However, I'd like to propose one meditation which is something that we really need in our life that can bring us some immediate benefits. So therefore, I'd like to share this one, and this is the drawbacks of anger and the benefits of patience. The drawbacks of anger and the benefits of the mind of love.
하고서라와서 어다 라마서 수만오지 거의 님이 고나 하고서 타바토발 깔레카지메 세와노지가 콘토가 님이 가서 고토나 하고서라 tani shomba tembo jile sheyato to shui chiran royato ani zeba ina chibare ota tende peto chimbo chiyares.
So the lamas say that if we meditate on the faults of samsara, then the achievement of liberation is easy. So similarly, I would argue that if one contemplates the drawbacks of anger, then it becomes very easy to bring forth the mind of love. It becomes easy to cultivate the mind of patience.
하고서라와서 오다 콘도가 님이 고도 치기이나 콘도가 님이 나조 미가 통야를 콘도 님이 가리요. 미가 마통이 콘도 님이 가르가른데 대지 다제 것이야 알레비 같이 뭐래스.
So in terms of the meditator who is meditating on the faults of anger or the drawbacks of anger, we could do it based on various sections. So the faults of anger that we can perceive with our eyes, and the faults of anger, the disadvantages of anger that we can't perceive directly.
하고서라와서 오다 콘도세야 슈 dropo le ani 슈 dropo porque de sona tiserembo de tene tela tene nese 슈 chibo nyabaina 하고서라와서 오다 ngaro서 미 마토이 nganzo bewa 갈리시 여보 제바이나 요 데리 사베지 ngaro서 셀리와라와스 사베 여보 에보 사베 살림이 사베 메이 집안오지 키요 아버지는 배도 매봐서 누구야레스 그냥 사베 집안오지.
So in terms of the disadvantages of anger, it is said that if we hold on to this mind of anger, especially if we hold on to an intent to harm, this is something that is very destructive, even from the point of view of things that we can't see directly. So we understand that through holding that wish to harm and that anger, then the seeds of virtue that we've accumulated, they are not able to bring forth the happy result. So just as if you have an apple seed or an orange seed, if it's scorched by fire, it will not be able to sprout a tree and fruit. Similarly, our merits will not be able to lead to the result of happiness.
하고서라와서 오다 집다라와서 ngaro서 강가로 또 모두 걸어보게 쇼바지네 제바이네 콘도기님이 걸어보게 콘도가야 될 밀라오만 와서 가르침부 텐데가 와서.
So it's the same for all of us when we are approaching, beginning to meditate on these minds of love, of compassion, of the disadvantages of anger, and so forth. It's really not always that easy to develop our meditation nicely.
하고서라 이나요 당연히 집어 말했다. 돈번에 집어 돈 받어도 쓰이나요. 뭐 집아래스 나로서도 깔래 요아래스. 이나이 고로스 내가 때뭐 저래래 치는 제가 이사 하고 잡아러 왔어. 때때 나로서 저요아래스.
So we understand, though, that the holy beings were exactly the same. They faced the same challenges that we are facing now. They endured a lot of difficulties, but through maintaining the stability in their practice, through maintaining their determination, their discipline, they were able to achieve great things. So there's no reason that we can't be successful.
하고 살아왔어. 어다 콘도 따위 디바메 메셰도 따위 디바메 제와 따위 까토 메세네 자세쇼 자세 좀 쇼와라 진주 좀 대지치 요소노 또나 아니 검자야 로지치알 요레치알 칼레메마 칼차야.
So it is said that there is no mind more dangerous than, or there is no fault more dangerous than malice, more dangerous than hatred or anger. And similarly, there is no austerity greater than patience. So austerity in a positive sense, there is no mind more positive than patience. So this was said by Shantideva. So therefore, we must exhort ourselves to cultivate these.
테네는 가시가 냐마치 다와치 로치 하고서라 가제에 야버지 요세지 좋아하는 것이 시험 그 아래 두 번씩 한번 됐으나 하고더라. 근데로 요소는 가르도 가레스. 야지 좀 뭐셔와라. 고나 라와 뭐지 니데 고야마이 대지시 대토나 대대표도 좀 뭐야레스.
So similarly, there are people that they may engage in the practice of meditation for like 1 day, 1 month, 1 year, and then they don't see the results they were looking for. They are not seeing any realizations, and they might experience some discouragement or want to give up. Well, the son of the conqueror Shantideva, he also gives an instruction for that to encourage us, which is there is nothing that does not become easier through the power of habituation. There is nothing that does not become easier through the power of familiarity. So we can encourage ourselves like this.
다빈 알레리라 워칭 간도 같이 모치네 잡아이나 빼나 쇼마고메 가리나 하고서라 소소게 nye 옛날에 되니 바자 셔셔 돈에 소소르메마 되니 비자 하고서라와서 안에 뭐 강가 되니 비서더니 세제 강가 아사 노바이네 되니 되서 자셔 도요.
And similarly, we understand that we can start the meditation with something manageable and build on it and make it vaster. So, for example, if you were meditating on love, you would first meditate on the people closest to you. Then you could expand that circle to include all the people in your vicinity, in your country, all human beings, and eventually you would meditate on love for all sentient beings. So you could expand in that way.
하고서라서 마토 또 머니 센제 통치 잘라바이는 건저서 참 매반다와지 칸이든 보셔 되니 이나요 유야치라요 말했어.
Because you could maybe start saying love for all sentient beings, but because it's difficult to fathom, difficult to get your head around, it might sound nice to just say it from your mouth, but you're not really able to get a feeling really for all sentient beings within your mind.
하고서라 또 몸매이 되는 얘네 봐마 되니 다녀다 특히에서 되는 자체를 통해 센제 통치 거친도나 된대포게
So there's also another method to cultivate, and this is one of the advised method, to meditate first on love for the people closest to you, then on neutral people or strangers, then on the people with whom you have difficulties, the people that irritate you, and in this way to expand that circle of meditating on love. So this is another method.
어다든지 저기 도와서 다 같이 못들 다 들이티세 간주 들어나지 있으랬더니 이나요 쇼바 gond베깔라 하고서라 내서 숨 하고서라 와서 아니 세제 강에 요게 간디지 이나요 하고서라 대화도 못된바 어다 대화도 못된바 사자들 소소 요바 노지 손을 돈에 건자타바 이나 소와유야도 어다 쇼바시야 And
another thing that Geshe wanted to mention in terms of this meditation on love, sorry. So if you are meditating on love, you can think about the people who are in a place without happiness. Think about how you would feel in their situation if you were in a place where there was little happiness or deprived in happiness or deprived of happiness. And then from thinking in that way, putting yourself in their position, you can develop a powerful mind of love. So Geshe is also saying that you can go between the practices of love and compassion because they are very much related to each other. It is said that they are like the two sides of the hand, like the palm of the hand and the back of the hand. Because they are so interrelated, you don't have to be so strict, I'm only meditating on love or I'm only meditating on compassion. They feed into each other, so one can alternate.
This was or that is matter who does it to the Comjato countries, or that and the same Rosi countries, because it to the Madrid is matter.
So next time, Geshe will try to give some more instructions on how to meditate on those essential principles, and he will also try to talk a little bit more about the fundamental nature of our mind, the power of our mind.
Or that is a coron, the Rangan, your daughter, the shell, checking your that she is at their targets of Pedal telling Arrow, young users, or your check is, there is on.
So because now there's this tremendous obstacle in the world, this serious problem that is facing us, we don't want to be sort of nervous and discursive about it. That won't bring any benefit. What we want to do is to try to use this time to develop virtuous minds, wholesome minds, by paying attention to how to practice at the beginning, the middle, and the end. So we can pray that this problem is cleared away, that this terrible obstacle that all beings are enduring is cleared away, and that they can be happy as before. We can make prayers for their happiness, dedicate our positive energy, and also petition the Guru deities with this request, as mentioned before. So we will end there. Thank you.